what's going on? It's Jonathan Riggins with Rigid Tactical, and today we're going to be going over load and make ready for beginners. So what is load and make ready? Well, it's kind of in the name itself. This is a command the SO is going to give the shooter right before they shoot a stage, and it's their time to load their firearm and get ready to shoot the stage. And in this video, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks and how I load and make ready to prepare myself to shoot a stage. We need to look at load and make ready as a tool to prepare ourselves and to eliminate any unforced errors that we may have accidentally made before we even shoot the stage. Raise your hand if you've ever loaded the wrong amount of rounds into a magazine. Raise your hand if you forgot to turn your hat cam on before a stage and you forgot to video it. These little things we can eliminate in our load and make ready process if we get into a rhythm and we do load and make ready essentially the same way each time. So let's get into it. So to start, when the SO gives me the command to load and make ready, right then I'm going to go ahead and turn my hat cam on. This is because, for one, it takes the hat cam a couple seconds to cut on, and two, I actually want to film my load and make ready. Just in case I make an error during that time, I will be able to go back and look on the video to see if there was an issue with my load and make ready. Then we're going to go to actually making ready. So we're going to draw our pistol like we were going to be shooting the stage. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. As I draw, I'm going to be building my grip like I would be shooting, because I want to start building that grip and getting a feel for how I want the gun to feel as I draw for the stage. So we're building that grip. At the same time, I'm going to be checking my sights. So for a dot, I'm going to be seeing if the dot is actually on. I'm going to see if there's any cracks in the dot. I'm going to see if the brightness on the dot is set to what I want it to be. For irons, what I'm checking is to make sure my irons are still there. I shoot with a fiber optic front, so I'm making sure that that fiber is still there. There have been times where I went to go and shoot, the fiber had broken out, so I asked the SO, hey, can I go and fix the fiber? You know, and I got off the line, let the next shooter shoot as I fixed my fiber. I also one time saw that my front sight was about to fall off, and so I had to take apart the gun and screw the front sight back on. And so even for irons, I want to check my sights. So it's not just dot, we want to check our sights even with irons. So there we go. Everything looks good. So now we're going to go into the loading process. I'm going to pull my magazine out. I'm going to check to make sure my magazine is loaded with the correct amount of rounds for my division. Good to go. We're going to insert it. Now, this is a tip that I've kind of developed over time where I've made mistakes, where I didn't fully seat a magazine. So now that I've seated this magazine, I'm going to go ahead and tap it twice. It's good to go now. Now we have to rack the slide. Guns are used to recoil, and so we don't want to be timid as we rack the slide. We want to make sure we rip it back and we slingshot it forward so that that round is going to go into the chamber. So I'm just going to rack it just like that. I knew that that round has stripped from the magazine because the magazine is properly seated, and now it's going to be in the gun. Now I'm checking to make sure that the gun is fully in battery. This is another issue I've ran into where I didn't check to make sure the gun was fully in battery. I was able to see it on the hat cam. I got the gun up, didn't notice that it wasn't fully in battery, put it into the holster, and when I drew, click, nothing happened, had to hit it forward to go. So I checked to make sure it's fully in battery up here. I see that. I checked to make sure it's fully in battery back here. I take my hand and I hit the back of the slide to make sure that it is fully in battery. Then I'll take a couple more sight pictures, and then I'm going to put the gun in the holster. Now the gun is in the holster, I'm actually going to leave my hand on the gun, and I'm going to check my other two magazines. Leaving the hand on the gun is going to allow the SO to know that you are not ready to shoot yet. So I'm going to check both mags to make sure they're loaded, because there have been times where I've gone to shoot a stage and maybe I put a half-empty magazine back into my pouch and I forgot to load it. So I'm going to check to make sure both of these are good to go. I'm going to keep my hand on the firearm, and then I'm going to go through my stage plan in my head. Now, I'm not going to sit there and point at each target or anything like that. I may count the rounds. I may think about where my reload's going to be. I'm going to close my eyes and kind of visualize that. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to take a deep breath to kind of release some tension. I'm going to drop my hands. and then I'm gonna wait for the beep. Range is going hot. Shooter, you may load and make ready. I'll turn on my camera. I'm then gonna draw the firearm. Make sure my sights are good to go. Make sure I'm locking in that grip. I'm gonna grab my magazine. I'm gonna check to make sure it's loaded properly. We're gonna insert the magazine, give it a couple slaps, slingshot it home, check to make sure we are in battery. Give us a couple more sight pictures and locking in that grip. Put our gun away. Check our magazines. Make sure they are loaded properly. Visualize our stage plan. Take a deep breath. Get ready. Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. Now that's personally how I load and make ready. Load and make ready needs to be something that you develop, kind of like a free throw in basketball where you see the guy dribble, they'll maybe spin it a couple times, they'll toss it between their hands, whatever. It's their way of getting into a rhythm. And so you need to come up with a rhythm that feels good for you and that sets you up for success. And so we want to make it repeatable, and we want it to be something that's calming and feels natural to us. So I step on a stage, maybe I have a little bit of anxiety of like, maybe my stage plan isn't fully ingrained or something like that. And so I have this little bit of anxiety in me. And so what we're doing is in our load and make ready, it's gonna be a calming thing because we do the same thing every time. So we just know it. It just feels natural, and we go about, you know, centering ourselves, whatever, grounding ourselves, whatever you have to do before you go into a stage. So don't be scared to venture out from what I do. That's just typically what I do. You can make it whatever you need to do. Add certain things that fit your platform, your shooting style into your make ready so that you feel comfortable. So yeah, that's all I've got. Again, I'm gonna be making a couple more videos for beginners. If you have something you would like me to cover, put it in the comments. So thanks for tuning in and checking this out, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.